Hey, good morning, my friends. It's Hammer. Today is Friday, April 19th, 2024. I, of course, am with Originator Success here with your daily mortgage rate update. The only place on the web where you guys can join me live each and every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time and talk about what's going on with mortgage rates and bonds and pricing and all that good stuff. Remember, we broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. If you're here this morning, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, do me a favor. Just put a hashtag replay in the comments. I notice that some of you on YouTube are doing that now. Thank you so much. Also, if you're on Facebook, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and tag an LO, maybe share this in a group, click that little share button, throw it somewhere else. Also, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to give us a thumbs up on that little thing down there. Go ahead and subscribe and click the little notifications if you want to be reminded that we do this each and every day. All right. Otherwise, what we got going on, remember, you can go ahead and, everything. Let me move this. These are a little out of sorts. Here we go. You can sign up for our written lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. Get an email to your inbox each and every weekday morning. We've also got some awesome text alerts, www.ratetextalerts.com for $7 a month. Oh, that's the look at this. I got them all out of sorts. There you are. That is the text alerts, www.ratetextalerts.com. Anyway, you know what? I'm TGIF, baby. I'm done with this. Let's just turn that off. Who's here this morning? Say good morning. Let's say hello. We're not going to have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be a fairly quiet day. We got Michael Love this morning. Good morning, sir. Great to have you here. Megan Lindberg. Hello, Mike Morano. Good morning. Dude, the wedding's tomorrow. Congratulations. That is so awesome. Everyone, please give Mike your congratulations. Mike is getting hitched tomorrow. He should absolutely celebrate that he found somebody wonderful that'll put up with him like I have. I have an amazing wife that puts up with all my shit. So, Mike, congratulations, my friend. I hope everything goes amazing for you and your bride tomorrow. Hope you guys have a wonderful life of happiness. And that's it. So everyone, please give Mike a hand. Tell him kudos and congratulations. Rob Stewart, good morning, sir. All right. Well, that's it. There's about a hand. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Now I got rid of my screen. Let me bring it up again and we'll show you what's going on. So what do we got this morning? Mortgage bonds, they're basically flat. Right now they showed down about 2 basis points. We were up a couple basis points a minute ago. Basically flat to start the day. However, it's important to take a look at what happened yesterday. Let me see. I just got to refresh this and we'll put it there. So, reprice risk on the day is low. It's a very quiet day. There's nothing going on as far as economic data or even Fed speakers. Yesterday, they all went out there and sang their song, their swan song, and did all the same thing. So taking a look here, here is next to me, here is the 48-hour chart. Yesterday, we started the day off better. If you look at the 5-day, you can kind of get a pretty clear picture there of what was happening. We improved quite a bit on Wednesday. Thursday, we almost lost it all. And then today we're kind of still better. So we're better than we were on Tuesday. Here was Monday, very similar to where we were on Monday. So basically rates should be relatively unchanged on the week. We had an opportunity on Wednesday to go ahead and grab some reprices better. Thursday morning pricing was better. And that's when I said you may want to go ahead and lock that up on anything closing near term. Let me go ahead and pull up the rates and then we will pop this back into that screen. There you go. So basically rates are finding that equilibrium. We're going to call it like 7.5. Let's say that 7.5 is a base rate for conventional conforming. That's our new equilibrium. That's your mortgage rate neutral. That's likely where we're going to see rates tread water. Next week, there's not a lot going on as far as data. We are going to have the PCE inflation data on Friday. I don't think it's going to give us any great shot in the arm. The one thing that may be a little bit of a benefit, the PCE data has less of an emphasis on shelter than the CPI inflation data report. PCE is, of course, the Fed's favored gauge of inflation. Markets will be looking to see if that shows a better inflation scenario than the CPI did. But when we look here, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically, what's important to note is that nothing has changed this week as far as expectations of where the Fed is going to put rates. A week ago, it was basically in June, there was a 70% expectation we'd see a rate hike. This week, since then, it's about an 85% expectation. I'm sorry. Blah. I got to really watch that we would see rates not to get a rate cut, that they would remain the same, that rates would be kept where they're at now. It's about an 80% expectation about that. I do prefer National Amaretto Day, but it has to be Amaretto di Serrano, not that Amaretto del Orso. That shit is like kerosene. Anyone ever have any Amaretto fans out here? Mr. Ron Siegel, good morning. James Mahan, by the way, good morning, sir. Alan Christian, good to see you, sir. Mike Tebow, Yasmin Martin, thank you so much. So anyone like Amaretto? Amaretto is a nice liqueur. It's an Italian liqueur, hazelnut, I believe. And Amaretto di Serrano, the good Amaretto, but Amaretto del Orso tastes, like I said, like kerosene. It's just nasty. Anyway, just different brands that make it. Good morning, Tim Cladla. So nothing really changing here. We're not going to see any big improvements today on mortgage bond pricing. 10-year treasury yield right around that 4.61 mark. It's leveling out there, and that's a good sign. So we're seeing things kind of settle down. Not likely to see a lot of movement as we head into next week, putting us in that same kind of boat where we have been. Yeah, Di Serrano as well. I'm with you, my man, Ron Siegel. Let me see if I can find there we go. So basically, anything closing in less than 15 days or anything risk averse, you want to go ahead and continue to consider locking. You can cautiously float the rest. We saw a very, very firm outlook shift for those Fed rate cuts after the CPI data. And I'll show you the chart for a minute just to kind of bring it up. But when we look here, look at right after right here, this candlestick. Do you see this one right here? This candlestick was on Friday, April 5th. That was the jobs data that we got, right? So right here, we got the jobs data and things got a little bit worse, but they were right within that range. And then Monday, they opened up a little worse, but they improved. Tuesday put us right kind of back in that same spot. We were not necessarily panicking at this point. The CPI data came in, and that's when the bottom fell out. So the CPI data, I told you, it's not necessarily that the data was even that bad. The reaction to the data was brutal, though. And it really created a huge shift in expectations of when we were going to see the Fed cut rates and how we were going to see the Fed cut rates. That was the big difference. We've seen it lose ground here. I mean, we were Tuesday, April 9th, we were at 100.60 for this 6.0 coupon. And today we're at 99.30. So we were, one more time, we were at 100.60, closed at 100.60 on that, and now we're at 99.27. So 130 basis points of down movement. Bonds not going to rebound. We're not going to see a bounce up from here. We're going to see things kind of settle in, and that's the same thing on the rate sheets. Rate sheets are going to settle in, the 7.43, 7.41, 7.44, basically 7 3/8 to 7.5 is where rates are settled in, and they're not going to change unless one of two things happen. If we see weak economic data and better labor data, showing weakness in the labor market, then we'll see expectation that we could see 3 rate cuts again. That would help rates to improve a little bit. If we hear more whispering about rate hikes, that will cause rates to definitely get worse. Remember, the worst rates we saw were back in October of last year. You can go all the way back down here, and we were down at 90. What is this? Look at this, 96 something 50. 96.50. That is basically 300 basis points lower than where we're at now. That is a huge difference, and you would see rates that would be a point higher than where they're at today. Hopefully, we don't go anywhere near that. Mike said, going to jinx you. Nah. Israel war strike, potential to see better pricing. Not at all, Mike. Not at all. And in fact, so Mike's question, let me go ahead and throw that up here because it's all for show and chest thumping and really had nothing to do with anything. Let me see. let me check the Bloomberg article. U.S. futures recover as Iran strikes seen as contained. This is a good way to kind of put it on there. Basically, it was the Iran was like, yeah, they didn't do anything. Basically that's what Iran had to say about the whole thing. They were like, yeah, there was really nothing. So let's see if I find it here. Maybe I'll just have to do this, but basically, Israel went out there and fired off a drone strike. There was what they said was against almost no damage, and Iran said that they're not going to retaliate. It was basically de-escalating attacks each time. There's a lot of bluster about it. It's also testing things is what they're all doing. They're basically testing responses. They're pushing the limits. They're seeing how technology reacts to all this. Market's not really going to see any big flight to safety. We're not expecting to see anything happen over the weekend. So that's your answer to that. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up. TGIF, there's really not as much to say today. Again, the lock advice, I'll throw it back up on the screen. Make sure you're signed up for the emails and the text messages if you like. Got some awesome stuff changing. Well, not changing, but improving. Some improvements coming out on originator success on our elite stuff and our Ignite stuff. So I'll be talking more about that soon. All right, my friends, you guys have a great weekend. I hope you have wonderful weather and everything for your wedding, even if it's indoors. And Ron said, yeah, he hit the nail on the head. It's all about saving face. Israel had to retaliate, and they didn't want to hurt anyone. They don't want to escalate it because at the end of the day, the regime that is in charge in Iran is effing crazy. Ron said, very interesting YouTube video from Daniel DiMartino, sharing it in my weekly report, what the government isn't telling you about inflation. Cool. Well, if you got a link to that, let us know, my man. I would love to take a look at it. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. You guys have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you Monday.